Good. Hey, we are live. Hello, everybody.
Hi, happy
Yes, welcome.
Thursday.
Happy Thursday. It's 4:30 on Thursday. It must be time for happy half hour.
Mm-hmm.
What number is this? How many have we done now? Amy?
66, 66, 66.
66
66.
happy half hours.
We're
If you've tuned in for the first time, I am David Shakavage. I am the president of Carolina Retirement Planners. With me also here on the screen is the glowing face of my daughter, Sam Shakavage. She is a partner here in our little business, in our venture, and behind the scenes is Amy. Come on and say hi to everybody, Amy.
Hello, hello, hello.
hey Amy.
Amy is our director of client fun, and she is the one who figures out how to get Zoom working with Facebook and all this other stuff, and makes all these things tick. And as always, if you are on here, please type in to the chat and say hi. We don't know you're here unless you type in and say hi.
Right. Now I'm going to say
tell us
goodbye,
what you're,
goodbye,
if,
goodbye, goodbye.
if you have an interesting drink, tell us what you're drinking. If you're in an interesting place, tell us the place you're in. So, but once this 66, wow. When we started this back 66 weeks ago as a way to get together with folks, during COVID, and the popularity has remained. And if this is your first time, we spend a little time kind of chatting, but we get into some kind of educational topic, but we try to bring it to you in a entertaining and fun manner, and that's what we're going to do. And today's going to be one that very, very new. I've not done anything like this before, so it should be entertaining as well. So
Ooh, breaking out some new material.
yeah, and I see Kim has joined us, and,
Hey,
and
Kim.
Brad says hi. Dan and Barbara here. I know they're probably up in the mountains, and I hope it's getting cooler there.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, is it cold up there yet? Are your leaves changing?
No, it's wet up there. I don't know exactly where in the mountains they are, but I know that there's like a flood advisory up there. They're probably getting dumped on right now. I have some friends up outside of Hendersonville, Asheville area.
We had a flood
Under a
advisory,
flood advisory.
too. Yeah.
They're well west of Asheville. They're near John C. Campbell Folk School. I was up visiting them a couple years ago, when we were up there. And Ed is here. Hey, Ed, good to see you. Talked to you earlier today. Patrick talked to you, I think, in the last week or so. And somebody named Kristen Owen is saying hi from the next room.
Who would that be?
I think we introduced her. She joined us about 2 or 3 months ago as our director of First Impressions. She's the smiling face you see when, again, we get normal office visits and such. Lynn is here. Hey, Lynn. Robert, top fan Diane is here. And Mary, also in the next room.
Yeah, look at that bit, Mary B.
JP. And
Carolyn is here.
And Lynn. Hey, Lynn.
But we always like to celebrate what day it is. Amy, what day is today?
Today is National Frappe Day.
Frappe Day.
Frappe Day.
These Swedish words don't ring with me. What is a frappe?
It is a frozen blended beverage with coffee and some stuff, and it's it's supposed to get you all kinds of fun and sugary and good.
Coffee drink.
Yeah, nice blended iced coffee drink.
My dad likes his. For those of you who don't know, if my dad is drinking a coffee, it is hot and black.
Okay.
He does not want anything in his coffee, and he wants like a dark, rich coffee. And he will clown. I spent my childhood drinking only black coffee, and he would clown me if I
Well,
dared
God-
to put anything in my
It's
coffee.
the way God intended. None of these weird, overly priced, expensive tutti frutti drinks
How
that,
about
that
Tutti
you go to these,
Frutti?
you know,
I gotta make it taste like
$18
caramel.
$18 for a cup of coffee or something. Forget it.
No,
Forget
no,
it.
you know what?
I am
Speaking
of the
of,
generation, you know.
I'm drinking a Tutti Frutti beer. That's how Tutti Frutti I am.
In a little
Come on
pinch,
now.
you can
The
do,
blurry-
I gotta get back to work.
in a pinch, you can put half and half in it. So today is frappe day. That sounds like fun. And let's say hi to a few more people and then maybe get into the meat of the works here. I see, I think Carolyn is here along with JP, Lynn, Bruce, Furman is here. Hey, and Fred, I talked to you earlier today as well. It's good to see you all.
And Rick
And
too.
and I wonder if anybody can guess what our topic is today. You know, this is sort of an interesting topic today. You know,
Well, you're holding up your good old trusty crystal ball.
my trusty crystal ball.
Wait,
You know,
wait. Before you get into the topic, I want to ask one little request of everybody. Well, it's not new, but if everybody could see their little icons on their Facebook, you know, you have like there's a like and a love and a care and a laugh and a wow and a cry and a sad. As you go on, if you can hit those little funny little emojis, because that'll let us know what you like, and Facebook likes those. I forgot to interject that. So sorry,
Yeah,
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but yes.
Facebook likes us even more if you hit little emojis, you know. So and it's also fun. So if we say something that is exciting, you can smile. If it's depressing, you can frown. But employ some emojis that will help us. That will.
The
Algorithms.
That's right.
I lost my ability to.
I got you
there
back.
for a moment. All right,
Well,
Dad. So what is our topic today? Let's get back on track.
For those of you who, you know, in my office, we have like a round table sitting in front of me here on the big screen above it. The most of you, if you're a client, you've seen this. Although I've got some new people since COVID that have never been to the office. We've been able to help them with just through the web alone. But most people, I've got this sitting on my desk, and people will often say, well, what's the market gonna do? And I say, well, I don't know, but you can ask my crystal ball here what the market's gonna do. I've even had occasionally people say, well, you don't have a crystal ball. And then they'll look, well, wait a minute, you do, you know? So, but I always ask people to ask it themselves. But we all kind of wonder what the market's gonna do. And I thought, let me get switched up here. I thought it'd be kind of fun today. We're going to have what I'm going to call
It's a lot of crystal balls.
it's going to be the battle of the crystal balls. Now, I don't want to pretend that I am, you know, necessarily smart enough to analyze the world's macroeconomics and decide what the future is going to bring. But there's a whole lot of people out there that are willing to do that. Mm-hmm. And we've gone out and I've looked at some surveys, and we're gonna look at what 4 people predict the next 10 years will be.
And they're all the same, right? I mean, all the same predictions.
There's Charles Schwab. We're gonna ask Chuck. We've got BlackRock. BlackRock's a big, well-known financial company with lots of fancy offerings. We've got Research Associates, and we've got Morningstar. And we're going to see what they say the next 10 years are going to be, and see how closely they agree and get an idea. So it's going to be kind of fun. Um, I'm going to start with Charles Schwab. Ask Chuck. And Chuck says the next 10 years are going to be 6.6%. I've kind of got the website I got it from here. Now, the trouble is, if I say to you 6.6%, how do you compare things? But what I thought I would do is I said, if we're sitting here now and we go out 10 years, we go out to, what is that going to be, 2031? If their predictions, this is their long-term 10-year prediction, hold true, and you put $100,000 here into the market today, and in 10 years, it would have grown to 189,000. So that's what Chuck says. Chuck says we're going to grow to 189,000. That's their prediction. Well, let's go now to BlackRock. And if BlackRock is saying it's going to grow at 5%, this is BlackRock here. They say it's going to grow at 5%. So if we start here now and we go out 10 years, and at 5% we grow that 100,000, it's going to grow to, it's going to grow to 162,000. So I can have 189 if I invest with Chuck. I can have 162 if I invest with, and the same investment, US stock market. BlackRock thinks it'll be 162. Next comes Research Affiliates. Research Affiliates says if we go out 10 years, we're going to earn 2%. That's what it's going to be, the compound over the next 10 years. And if I make 2% a year over the next 10 years, I will have grown to $121,000. And last, but certainly not least, we have Morningstar. Morningstar's prediction for the next 10 years is negative 0.1%.
Oh, wow.
They're basically saying if you go now and go out 10 years, you're going to have $99,000 at the end of that time. They're saying the US stock market is going to earn nothing.
That's a pretty big disparity.
That's a pretty big disparity between four of the best crystal balls, that we have out there in our industry. These are the people that are advertising all the time, claiming to give me your money, and they're experts, and really they have some of the best minds and the best people researching this stuff in the country. And we get that big a difference between zero and $190,000 10 years from now. So it's kind of interesting here who you want to believe. And
I mean, I would say Morningstar is pretty reputable, but so is Charles Schwab.
So is Charles Schwab.
Oh, wow.
So if you're wondering, like, gee, can you predict the market? If we just go out and ask the experts, you can see that we're getting such big differences that who knows? And the lesson here too is you need to be ready for everything, because nobody really knows. It's still, and we're going to give a couple more examples of that in the future. The other thing I want to, well, what happened to it? The other thing, well, let me go to this next piece. So in terms of the US, here's what we got.
Yeah, so this is their predictions for just like the US market.
Just the US stock market. Now, much of this, the rest of this comes actually from a Morningstar article comparing markets, expert forecast stock and bond markets. But in the world of markets, there's more than the US. There's generally three big geographic or kinds of markets people look at worldwide. The US is one. Another one is developed markets. Developed markets are countries like Japan, England, Australia, markets that are countries that are kind of stable, been there, they built their infrastructure, you know. So these are developed markets. And their economy is different than the emerging markets. Emerging markets are like China, India, even Russia. You know, one way I like to think of it is, it was about 20 years ago, about 23 years ago, but before I switched from the management consulting world to the helping big companies make more money to helping families and individuals. And there was a trip I made to Shanghai in mainland China to talk to a manufacturing organization. Long story, but I remember driving through the city and there was construction everywhere and skyscrapers, but all the billboards were for things like sinks and toilets. To me, the emerging market is still built, you know, putting in indoor plumbing, you know, and the developed market has their plumbing all installed. That's my simplistic way to think about it. But these groups, BlackRock, JP Morgan, Morningstar Research affiliates, they gave numbers for each of these markets. And what I did is I averaged all four. So let's see how the US compares with these other markets. They say that the US is going to make if you average it, they're predicting 2.75% a year growth over the next 10 years for the US. So we'd have about 131,000. They're saying developed markets like you know, England and Japan, they're going to do 5.9%. That's their average of their four predictions. So you'd be up to 177,000. And they're saying that emerging markets are going to do 6.5%, or about 187.
Oh,
The interesting lesson here is that pretty much all of them believe that the emerging and developed markets are going to outperform the United States over the next 10 years. So if there's something they do agree on, it's that the rest of the world is going to outpace us in the coming decade. The last decade or so, we have outpaced the world. We've done better than most of these other markets. But one of the problems is we're kind of high right now. Our markets are way up. And, you know, there's one theory that says when you've got a lot of gains now, you're kind of taking away from future gains. You may have less future gains. We'll talk about at the end what we're going to do next week, where there's some ways we're going to look at whether we're high or not. But those experts they may all disagree by a huge amount how well the US is going to do, but they all pretty much agree that the rest of the world is going to do better in the future. That's one reason when we build portfolios, they often should include both US and foreign and emerging markets and developed markets as well, because they're, you know, the winner is going to be different over time. The US has won recently, but it's not going to be that way forever. And here's a little piece now of how that may look. So now we've the other thing I want to stress here is what is the real path to whether we make 2.75 or whatever, what is the path? And if the developed markets make 5%, what is the real path? In reality, the path isn't going to look like this. The path is going to look like this.
What I was
Right?
thinking.
And if you've been on happy half hours, you know that one of the things that kills you in retirement is you're now taking money out of your pot every month instead of putting money in. While you're working, if you're putting $500 a month into your 401k, when the market falls like this, stocks are on sale. You get to buy twice as much. It fell in half. And so when they come back up, you have more money. When stocks when you're retired, when now you're retired and the market falls and you're taking 500 a month or 5,000 a month or whatever out, you got to sell twice as much to get the money you need to live. And so you can get hurt. So one of the lessons in retirement is to build portfolios that smooth this out so you don't get killed with a downturn. When you were working, a drop was actually good. You actually made money you put in. It's called dollar cost averaging. When you're retired, you get to reverse dollar cost averaging. So a little bit of a lesson there. We had some folks that made their own predictions for the next year. And we pulled, Amy, you asked them to give them predictions when we were in here. I thought we could read a few. Gene says he predicts that Congress will declare a 10-year moratorium on IRA distributions. That'd be a fun one.
Beverly predicted that the stock market would be at 50,000, inflation at negative 0.5%, the interest rate at 2% with snow at Christmas and world peace forever.
God, I hope she's right. I hope she's right. If nothing else, I hope we could get world peace. Though I might even settle for just snow at Christmas,
No snow. I'm from Chicago. No snow.
Barb says the national debt will disappear, paid for by all the billionaires, and we will all live happily ever after. That's a good one too,
Dave and Pat, their 2022 prediction is that Bitcoin will be $100,000.
Okay.
So I know what they're invested in.
Lynn says, my predictions for 2022 is that I will meet my Prince Charming, and my other prediction is that my father will beat this ugly thing called cancer. And I hope for her it's correct as well.
Me too.
Buck hopes that COVID will end and the Orioles will make the playoffs.
And last but not least, Jacqueline says her prediction is to be a first-time wine winner in today's drawing. And the wine drawing is coming up here in a minute. A couple other things just for fun here I thought we could do. We talked about predictions and how hard it is to predict. We reached back and got some of the worst predictions in terms of the market of all time. And there's a bunch of them, but here is one. This is the stock market, and this is the year 2000 here. And you could see the market was headed up at that point, right? Remember 1990 to 2000, the dot-com bubble? And in the Washington Post, James Glassman and Kevin Hassett published the first edition of what they called the Dow 36,000. They put a book out called the Dow 36, where they predict that in the next few years, the Dow would hit 36,000. It was at about 12,000 then. And you can see for the next 10 years, it pretty much remained at 12,000. It's getting close to 36,000 now, but it hasn't hit it. But that was a pretty terrible prediction. By the way, Kevin Hassett, that name may sound familiar. He was actually one of Mitt Romney's chief financial advisors in his campaign. So, and you'll see how that turned out too. So anyway, that's one prediction. Anybody know this guy?
Kramer.
Kramer, Jim Kramer. And he
I can
made,
tell who he is because he's yelling.
yeah, I just chose
Yeah,
that
he yells
one.
all the time.
Great entertainer. How he is as a predictor, though, his famous prediction was on March 11th of 2008, someone called him up and said, I'm worried about Bear Stearns. Should I sell my Bear Stearns? And he said, no, no, no. Bear Stearns is fine. Don't move your money from the bear. It's just being silly. If those of you who remember the crash of 2008, it was kind of led by the demise of Bear Stearns. 6 days later, Bear Stearns basically got wiped out. And instead of from $60 a share, it fell to $3 a share. It got bought out by Morgan Stanley or someone. I forget exactly. Yeah, and JP Morgan. So it had to be rescued. It had to be bought out at fire sale, less than fire sale prices. It was pretty much worthless. So that was his prediction. If he couldn't see that coming, you know, who can see what? And last but not least, I thought I'd bring this guy up. This is Paul Krugman. You may have heard his name in the news.
I don't know if I'm familiar with him.
In 2008, he was predicting that the technological internet thing would not amount to much. In case you can't see it, it says, as the rate of technological change in computing slows, the number of jobs for IT specialists will decelerate, then actually turn down. 10 years from now, the phrase information technology will sound silly, okay? Well, you know what happened since 2008 with the internet. I mean, we now kind of live, eat, and breathe on the internet. And information technology is everything. The interesting news is that, actually, I'm sorry. He said this in 1998, my mistake. He said this in 1998. On the internet was
even more,
just beginning to hatch. He said, this isn't going to amount to anything. The date 2008 is the date he won the Nobel Prize in economics. So he did kind of they don't give Nobel Prizes to idiots. I mean, generally speaking, Nobel Prizes. So even some pretty smart people can really get things wrong, you know, and that's one example there. So we're getting close to the top of the hour. One thing I wanted to do is say, you know, we're all worried about the future. And one thing we can't do is to predict the future, but we're really good at predicting the past. We know what happened in the past. And one of the things we do for folks, and we're going to put this out as an offer today, if you're new to this or you're not a client, our clients we've done this for, is we can take your current portfolio and run it through this fancy program from Morningstar that we lease. And we can predict, we can show you if we reran the 2008 crash, what would have happened? How much would you have lost? And it kind of helps you put it into perspective, gives you a lot of other information, tons of information, intersection reports and duplication, a whole lot of stuff. But if you'd like to get one of these done, just get a feel for where you are now. It'd be great. How can they get in touch with us, Amy?
You know what? I've already beat you to it. I just put it in the comments on Facebook. So they can, I put the link to your calendar, or they can call the office. Carolina 15, and they can go ahead and schedule just a 15-minute phone call with you, or they can call us at 910-815-3100 and get a little time on your calendar, and you can run that for them.
Yeah, that first piece here, if you just go there, you can book a 15-minute call. We can get it, or we can arrange it. But it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Like I say, I don't know the future, but I can predict the past. Be interesting to see what would happen if that occurred again. So we could even do it. So, okay. What do we, before we do the drawing, let's talk about next week. Um, you know, one question is the market high? What is going to happen in the future? And wouldn't it be interesting if there was a single number that would tell you whether the market was due for a crash, whether it was overvalued?
That would be
And
interesting.
yeah, it would be interesting. And there is, the kind of guy or gal that could come up with such a number would probably win a Nobel Prize,
Are you saying there is such a number?
There is such a number, and
No
indeed the
way.
one who originated did win a Nobel Prize, and that's going to be our topic next week. The single number that tells whether the stock market is overrated, how it would have done in the past, and where we are right now. And I don't have to tell you, it's going to be a good one. You're going to want to hear it. Tell your friends. And if you miss it, you can always watch it on reruns by going to our website under events and looking at all the last 66, or going to our Facebook account and seeing them there. So Sam, with that, what's next?
It is our wine drawing.
Our wine?
The wine raffle. So for those of you who do not know how to enter our wine drawing, or you do not know if your name is not here in my little carafe, each week we give away 2 bottles of wine delivered directly to your door from Fermental Bottle Shop. They're located out in Ogden, a really cool family-owned bottle shop if you haven't been out that way. And to enter, all you have to do is on Facebook, say that you are coming, reply to the event that you are coming. And if you share that event with a friend, you will get an extra entry into my bucket here. If you're on our email list, we send out a few emails throughout the week to let you know what we're going to be talking about. And if you reply to that email and let us know that you want to be entered into the wine drawing, we will enter you into there as well. So without further ado, our wine winner this week is Bill K. So Bill K, congratulations, you are our wine winner.
Congratulations,
Everybody else,
Bill.
I had a bunch of entries this week, so this was a fun one. So for everybody else who did not win, please keep entering and please keep joining us. I love giving away wine. Now
Yeah, we have a couple other comments I find interesting. Ed says he lost money on the only creamer recommendation he took. And Norm reminds us that Kevin Hassett also worked as a senior advisor in the Trump administration. So it's kind of, it's interesting the depth people know. So, hey, thank you all for coming. We'll see you next Thursday, 4:30. The single number that will tell you whether the market's due for a crash. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers. Same back channel.
Have a good weekend. Have a good week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.